Welcome everyone to a new episode of Cinema Dopes. We got a very special guest here, Jack.
Hello.
Say hi, Jack. Hello.
Hello. Very happy to be here.
Yeah, we were actually, me and Cade were walking back from a Wendy's actually, and we just saw this dude Jack in the back of the dumpster actually, and we were like, hey, this guy's pretty cool. Let's have him on the episode.
I was battling kaiju.
Yeah. Speaking of which, that's what the topic of this video is going to be. We talked about the 2013 movie, sci-fi Guillermo del Toro movie Pacific Rim.
How excited are we today?
I'm very excited.
I'm pretty excited.
It's hard to believe that movie is from 2013. You know, it holds up so well these days. I still feel like even when you go back and watch it, it's like, wow,
it does.
like really just all around stunning visuals, truly, which, you know, we could talk about all day, but there's so much more to talk about with this film.
That's what happens when you don't rush your animators.
Yeah, that's true. You know,
that's very true.
When it came out, I was kind of surprised about how like not known it was. Like kids at my school weren't talking about it or anything. So it's like I love getting to have the chance to talk to it about other people. So like I want to get your guys like initial thoughts on the movie and like, you know, what you really enjoyed about it and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll go in first. So this movie, when it came out initially, of course there's like a Wi-Fi dip now, but of course, when this movie came out, I'm like, oh shit, this was right when I was starting to get into Godzilla and just kaijus in general, because I would watch James Rolfe, the AVGN's Monster Madness Godzilla-thon, which literally talks about all the Godzilla movies. But that was like the best way to get in at the time and just understand what the appeal is, the monsters and the story and just yada yada yada. So, and right around the time this movie came out, and I watched it in theaters with my brother, and it was awesome. This was like the coolest movie I've ever seen beforehand. And like that always just stuck with me. I think I owned this movie like 3 times. I think I owned it twice on DVD and once on Blu-ray. And this was always like the de facto kaiju movie. And it's really funny because later on, when Legendary, the same company, did a Godzilla movie, this was my standard I was comparing it to, and Godzilla 2014 did not live up to the hype for me. So I'd always go back to this on how to handle a kaiju fight and like kaiju scenes in general, and I still think it holds true today. And I just want to say it's just a shame that we never got a sequel to this, because I really feel like it's
yeah, it's such a shame. It's a standalone movie, you know.
But, you know, it's nice to leave it at that right now. It's nice that it could have been incredible, but yeah.
Yeah, no. It could have. What could have been, you know?
Yeah, with the world of Hollywood now having a bunch of sequels and stuff, it's fun to have just like a standalone movie for now.
Yeah,
exactly. An original.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cade, you talk about your experience, and I'll probably jump in.
Well, first I want to know Jack's experience, since he's like the biggest fan I think of this movie.
Well, if you insist, you know, Seb describes you know, this movie as being like the de facto kaiju movie. You know, I think you can look at it as something even more as that, and you can look at it as the de facto kaiju versus robot fighting movie. Because there's just, you know, there like other series do that, like Evangelion does that, but like, you know, you look at this film and the way it's filmed, like something I put a lot of emphasis on when I preach about how good Pacific Rim is the scaling and how big just the Jaegers feel in the movie. That first scene in the film when after Gypsy Danger loses its arm fighting the knife head, and it makes shore on that like snowy coast. I mean, that's the real first time. I mean, you could even go as far as before that, but that particular scene, at least to me, gave me a sense of like how big the Jaegers are in this film and how big the monsters are in this film. And
a sense of scale, yeah.
It's incredibly well done scaling. Even if there are points that some people could point out and say it doesn't feel consistent, it feels a hell of a lot consistent more than other kaiju films, in my personal opinion. So it definitely gets an A+ in that category.
Real quick, before anything, I just want to preface, I mean more of kaiju movies in America, because, like, of course, Japan, like, I love Toho's, like, Godzilla movies so much. I love the Heisei era, which is, like, the 90s era, because that, to me, is, like, the perfect mix of, like, the suitmation, but still keeping everything practical, because with the Millennium series, they get a bit more shoddy with, like, the CGI, and they're trying to play a bit more with effects, but I still love the Millennium series. But I just think Heisei is, like, the classic era of just, like, this is Godzilla, this is why he's fucking awesome, and this is, like, your 90s cheese with a remaking and reimagining of classic Godzilla monsters. Before we jump into the movie itself, I just want to know Cade's experience with Pacific Rim.
Yes, I was gonna say.
So, I don't have much with it. Like, I've seen this movie a total of 3 times now. And
Nice.
one of which was before we got on to, like, talk about it for the podcast. But the very first time I ever watched it, I can't remember what the first movie we watched before it.
It was The Wild Robot.
Yeah, so we watched 2 different robot movies.
This was a double feature.
Yeah,
Oh
so
my
imagine
gosh.
my whiplash that I experienced after watching such a heartfelt, motherly, tender story of the wild robot to big monster fight big robot. And I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, no, the Wild Robot. Wow, you know, the Wild Robot's such a good movie. That's not even what we're here to talk about, but it's such a good movie, such a feel-good movie.
It really is a beautifully paced movie.
Yes, and 2
Should've won
totally
Best Animated
different
feature.
Yes, it did, and it deserved it. And it's like you said, 2 totally different tones for robot films. You know, when you're watching, you know, like you said. So, but is that, I mean, anything else? Any other things you want to say about the movie, Cade? Because I mean, you know, there's just
I want to chime in. Actually, I want to chime in specifically for my experience with him watching this movie, because I was right next to him as we were watching, and this was the best experience of my life, because this wasn't only, I think, Cade's first time watching it on the AMC big screen in, like, 2024. But it was also Derek's first time watching it. So I have Cade to my side and Derek to the other. And we're just seeing these scenes that I remember like clockwork in my mind, and seeing their reactions to it was insane. Did you know Charlie Day was in this movie going in, Cade?
No, I didn't, and I want to talk about that.
We'll talk about that later. But there are specific scenes that I think I will chime in when we get there, of just like seeing Cade's reaction and just him being in like complete awe of what he was seeing, and it was such a great experience to watch it again like that. And for $5, honestly, it was just such a great time.
It's so worth it, man.
Oh my god, holy shit.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah,
Ooh.
definitely.
No, we can definitely talk a lot about Charlie Day specifically. I have my own reaction stories for it as well, but there's even more to talk about with this
Real quick,
with this film.
Before anything else, so I have the cast list pulled up just so I don't forget names, or just so we can talk about certain characters. Yeah. Charlie Day is the top billing for the cast list.
That doesn't surprise me.
Really
he's the most seasoned actor. Actually, it's not true. I would say he's the most seasoned actor, but Idris Elba's also in the film.
And Ron Perlman.
True.
True. Yeah, you don't really care about Charlie Hunnam, the guy who like fucked up his entire accent for this movie.
Yep.
Bro, yeah. My stepbrother met him.
How was it?
What?
This is true. Yeah, he met him at a zoo in California.
Oh shit. I am shocked he was able to. I am shocked he was able to point out at 13 years old Charlie Hunnam.
I mean, I had mentioned Pacific Rim at the time as a kid, and my dad was like, "Isn't that the lead guy?" And I was like, "Did you take a picture with?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's him. That is 100% him." So.
And then he turned out to be Ed Gein in the Monster series. So there's that.
Exactly. You know, speaking of my father, I remember when I went to go see this movie in theaters for the first time, I was saying, Dad, I gotta go see this film. It looks so cool. I saw the trailer on TV. And he was like, all right, I'll take you to a PG-13 movie, because I was like 12 or 13 at the time. Or no, I was probably younger.
Oh, he was one of those parents. He was one of those parents.
I was probably
where it's
11.
Like
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Good,
he was.
good enough. It's fine.
Yeah, I was very, he was like, all right, but he was like, all right, you got to make sure, like, you got to be patient. Like these PG-13 movies, they start slow, so they can introduce you to the characters, and then they get into the action. And I was like, okay, it's fine. I still want to see it. First scene in the movie is the trespasser kaiju destroying the Golden Gate Bridge. First scene in the movie. And I look over at him in the theater, and I laugh at his face. Oh my god! It was. First of all, I felt great because I was like, "Wow, that's really funny." And like he warned me just for me to just be thrown right into the film. But also, I mean, they just really like. Even that scene is like so like breathtaking almost to watch.
Honestly,
it's like wow, like oh my god, like. It's all the way the shots are filmed, which I'm going to get into the specifics, not about each and every one, but I will get into some, and I want to hear what Seb has to say now, because I want to know what you think about how the film opens up like that.
Thank you so much, actually. I just wanted to gush about, literally just how it begins, like you said, and how it's shot specifically, because you see it mostly from the perspective of news broadcasts and like actual like archival footage of it happening, and it's just super cool to see, especially with the perspective shot of the Golden Gate Bridge, which then gets copied in Godzilla 2014, but I digress. But yeah,
hey, X-Men Last Stand did it first.
Yeah, so that's the true originator. We gotta be kissing that movie's feet. Anyway, so...
It's about the only thing we gotta praise for that movie.
The only praise we give to X-Men Last Stand. So, but, yeah, so we see just this incredible world building of just, like, it becoming commercialized and it becoming just a matter of fact in life. But the shots I love the most are just when they're building them in factories, and it just looks like a standard like blue collar shot. It's like, yeah, we're just fucking building a giant robot. And it's just like I love how because it says so much with so little of just like, yeah, these monsters came, we found out this was just going to keep happening, so for us to fight back, we did what we thought was logical, building giant fucking monsters to fight them. And I love the fact that it became just casual, like we were winning, we were beating them, so we were making like sneakers out of them. We were making fun of them on talk shows, and like they were just a common occurrence now. It was just an earthquake happening. And or just like a standard disaster that we just deal with, and just how it juxtaposes with the first fight that we see in the movie where everything just goes wrong. The first instance of everything just being like, it's like, oh shit, what are we gonna do now? And I just think it's so funny, Jack, when you were talking about like how they build up to like the action or build up to the like the stuff you would care about usually, because this does a great job of just immediately jumping you into the action, and it does it to also serve the plot of, oh shit, they're getting stronger.
Yeah.
100%. It's really well paced despite starting out with the action. Like, it's not something that has to be a shell shock after we get to know our characters. You kind of get to know your character through the narration of those first few minutes of the film. Because Raleigh goes just into that detail of how he would feel alone and look up at the stars and would wonder if there was life out there. But he, I'm basically quoting the movie. He says he's looking in the wrong direction, and you know, you go through the description of how the world pulls aside its resources, and what else I think is cool is it's like, you know, when I was watching that film as a kid, I was like, I mean, I think there's this underlying sense of like, wow, like, you know, if there were any cause for humanity to unite for, it would be to fight giant fucking sea monsters that were just destroying our cities. And I mean, that thought is also just so cool. I mean, granted, it's far more fictional, but it's still, I mean, it's just awesome to think about. And the movie does a very good job of making that realistic in a number of other ways, like I said, with the scaling, but also just with the visuals in general. Like, I mean, we're gonna probably talk our way through the film from beginning to end, so I don't want to get into too much detail yet, but
we'll scrape by some more human moments to get more into the people. Like we'll pick and choose. Like we'll try to keep it like to a lesser extent, but still, I still want to cover a lot with this movie because I love this movie. But actually,
it's so great.
Bringing up the aesthetic and visuals real quick while we're talking about the first fight, I was talking about this with Rex actually when I was watching it like earlier, and how they do something that they didn't do in Godzilla 2014. This is gonna be a reoccurring bit of like the standard I held 2014 to. They do the smart thing and they illuminate the monsters. They have them glow, so when you shoot them at night and have your set pieces at night, you can see what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. It's great. The kaiju blood glowing is a super nice touch.
It's genius. It is actually genius, and that was the one thing I'm like, oh, this is why it works so well, because they make them look biomechanical compared to the robots, which have all these spotlights on them, these like realistic light points, and it's such a amazing use of light, by the way. I love how they illuminate everything. I love that when they pick up the boat and you just see like their boat's perspective of like a kaiju surfacing, and it looks terrifying. It's awesome. And you see these robots. I can't remember in the beginning, does he get airlifted in? No, actually they walk over, but you see just
that's how he walks.
The spotlight getting closer, and they look like a lighthouse at first, but it's just them and they just have so much presence to them, which is insane. They use the light to the advantage to show the scale of everything.
Yeah, and also the way the lighting is used a lot in later parts of the movie, because that first shot with the boat is really dark. I mean, they're out in the middle of the sea.
Yeah.
But later in the movie, the way they use the lighting from the city lights is phenomenal. We can get into detail on that later because, you know, one of the climaxes of the movie does occur in the city, and we're not quite at that point yet, but just the way natural lighting is used in that film, like, yes, with the spotlights on the Jaegers, but also just down to like how the atmosphere is making everything look is just, you know, I don't know how much like creative work that had to take, but for 2013 I feel like I have to say it's just very overall impressive. But I want to get no, sorry, you can go ahead, Seb. I did want to get some thoughts from Cade. That's because you know,
Cade,
I know we said he's not super. I mean, I know we said he's not. Cade, I know you said you're not super experienced with this film, but like I do have questions for you. You know, it's like I want to know what your favorite Jaeger is, and who your favorite pilot duo is, and what your favorite kaiju was, and you know.
Fuck.
Like I do want to know these things.
So I don't have specifics for you because when I first watched the movie, I was like, oh man, this is like a fun fucking movie to watch on the big screen or whatever. But I never like dove into the lore that I was more interested, especially for doing research for the podcast. Like I was more interested in like finding out research on the movie itself, like how it was made and like why was Charlie Hunnam, out of everyone in the world, why was he cast for the specific role, not like anyone that's like a higher or like a more well-known name, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I know. I totally get you.
And I just looked it up. Apparently, it's because Del Toro only wanted him in the movie because he couldn't get him in for Hellboy 2. So he was like, well,
really?
If I can't get him in this movie, he was gonna be in Hellboy 2, The Golden Army, and then I don't know if it was like scheduling conflicts or whatever, but like when he was starting to make Pacific Rim, he was like, he's my top choice. I want him.
Wow. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. But and other things for favorite Jaeger, probably just basic answer with Gypsy Danger, because like it's badass. It's so cool when he Gypsy Danger like has his fist or clenches his fist and a sword just comes out. It's like, that's just
Oh my god!
awesome.
Yeah.
It's so fucking cool.
I want to. We'll get more into like just how the fights are paced, also, which is really cool. We'll get into when we get to like the final climactic fight. I want to be different real quick. I want to say I think one of my favorite Jaegers aesthetically is Cherno Alpha, the Russian Jaeger, because of how old it looks. It looks like it was pulled from a Cold War storage. I wish we got to see more of like the other Jaegers in it, which is kind of a shame. I like how this one looks as like super basic. It looks like it's just made to fight. Like, I know it's the point of the Jaegers, but it looks like it just has its hands and that's what it's gonna use to fight.
It looks like a fucking boxer.
So I'm gonna nerd. Go ahead, Tim.
You go. You nerd out.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna nerd out here and say so. I actually happened to learn that Cherno was done quite dirty in this film, because Cherno was specifically made for land brawling and guarding the coastline.
I see.
The reason they had to throw it out into the water was because they only had 4 operational Jaegers left.
Yeah.
They didn't trust Raleigh and Mako to get back in Gypsy danger. And Stryker had to guard the coastline because it had the nuke on its back, and they couldn't afford to lose it. So it was just all around a very bad situation. Because that thing was... Because Seb is right. That thing is, like... Not only is it old and robust and just, like, you know...
I love how blocky it is compared to everyone else. Yeah.
It's so chunky.
It's so blocky compared to, like, Crimson Typhoon and, like, Stryker Eureka and everything like that, and that was my favorite personally. You heard me stutter. I'm like, because you never say Eureka. Striker Eureka. I love that you knew exactly why I stuttered.
Oh man, what else is there to say with Eureka? No, but bro, we could talk about Striker Eureka all day.
I'll tell you right now, one of the pilots is the Eureka. It's a fucking dickhead.
Yeah, bro, he's a jackass in the film.
Let's actually go more into the plot. So the first fight happens, and it's awesome. And it starts, and Gypsy Danger is winning. It is a very rudimentary, very casual, matter-of-fact fight. They are treating this as a Tuesday afternoon. And they're winning. They're doing the standard, like, punching, keeping him at bay, making sure that the ship is out of range, even though that was a violation of their order, but they still did it, because it's the right thing to do, because they're heroes. And they do the standard 3 shots, because they have a plasma cannon. They do that, Knifehead drops, end of story. But... Knifehead is built stronger. I think this is to hint that Knifehead is one of the first, like, Category 4 kaijus. He is a stronger one. He is.
I hate to be an actually guy. I hate to be an actually guy, but it's a Category 3. It's a Category 3.
God damn it! No! I lost all my credibility.
You're off the podcast now.
Cade, this is the kind of fan we brought in. Oh no. He knows the facts.
Hey man, it's just the Sarazawa scale.
Yeah, honestly, that's actually pretty.
He knows more than us.
I do appreciate how you actually know that.
Thank you. I appreciate you appreciating that.
Yeah, I've been
I appreciate the fact that you appreciate him, and then you appreciate it.
But yes,
he's too dangerous to be left alive.
Oh God. Send me out in the Jaeger. But no, you were talking about the first fight when Knifehead, but Knifehead comes back.
Somehow Knifehead returned.
I was about to
keep walking
to say that.
No. Oh no.
Get fucked.
That's actually kind of what that scene was even like. A little bit. Because they were just like so sure they killed it after they shot it. And it did not die.
They literally pulled a Dragon Ball Z. It's like they don't scan to see if it's still alive, and then they just comes back and they get their shit wrecked.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, they do get their shit wrecked indeed. And of course, as we all know, Gypsy loses an arm. I will say,
And
so
a
I didn't
brother.
realize this until recently, but when wait, what's that?
True. And a brother.
Oh yeah, well that was
Yeah,
also
whatever.
important.
I mean, whatever. The arms
I
more
want to
important.
say it's important. He dies like in like the first 5 minutes.
Who cares?
But I will say, Gypsy loses the arm. One thing when I watched this movie for the first time, a lot of people complained. They were like, "Yo, why doesn't Gypsy use the sword at the beginning of the movie?" And I have a theory that it didn't have it at the time.
I
have a
think
theory that when Raleigh was working on the wall and they were working on rebuilding it, they added the sword. That's my theory.
That would make a lot of sense.
Yes, I don't think it's
actually.
ever disclosed.
I will talk about that more when we get to the final fight. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so pretty much it ends in a draw. They actually end up so Gypsy lost an arm, Rowley lost a brother, and I want to talk about when the brother gets lost, and this is the scariest part to me for some reason, because when his brother gets torn out of the Jaeger head, you just see his legs dangling, trying to keep up the walk cycle, but they're glitching out. That always scared me for some reason. The inside of a Jaeger head is terrifying.
Who thought it was a good idea to have two people in the fucking Jaeger head? I was just like seriously, I know it's oh, we can be drift compatible. One half can be piloted by one and the other half is piloted by the other pilot. I get that, but if this ever happens, which it does, it's just a disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Both mentally and with the machine itself.
I mean, so the one thing I will say about that is the one pilot thing doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
It's too much, yeah.
They do need at least two pilots to operate it, but I get what you're saying because it doesn't necessarily mean they need to be in the same cockpit. If anything, it'd probably be more practical to maybe put them lower down or something.
Remote.
I don't know.
Remote.
Yeah, why are you putting them in?
Yeah, exactly.
That too.
Yeah, exactly. One can, I don't know, one can operate the lower half, one can operate the upper half. But maybe, I don't know. We don't know how we don't know how that end of the science works in the movie. Of course, there's going to be questions, but the movie does a really good job explaining a lot of things, I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, what were you going to say, Seb? I think you had an idea there.
I think it's just all about the suspension of disbelief. They tell you just enough for you to get behind it, and to me it works.
Yeah.
I think we're thinking too hard about it, but honestly, they just show you could theoretically pilot it alone, but it's not recommended. It's very dangerous.
It actually does get done in the TV show once. I don't know if you guys have watched The Black.
I have not, no.
I will say, surprisingly, not a lot of media makes me cry, but Pacific Rim The Black made me cry.
Wow.
Genuinely. Genuine tears. I was surprised. There's the show it definitely has some cheesy moments for sure. It's just got that a little bit anime sort of vibe to it.
Yeah.
But in the cringy way.
Aw.
But it's still really captivating. The story, the main parts of the story that you want out of it are there. It's pretty good, and on that end, you have the Jaeger with a good with the personality. You have the pilots with the personality. There are threatening kaiju that are super scary and cool looking that we haven't seen before, and there's other things in the world we didn't know existed, and there's just it's not all perfect, not nowhere near as perfect as the movie, but the show made me cry. The show did definitely do that. Along with also showing that, like Cade said, piloting a Jaeger with one person is possible, but just not not recommended whatsoever.
Yeah. So back to the movie real quick. So it ends in a draw. Both of them go blank. You don't know if Rowley survives until it cuts to Alaska, where he is found still alive but barely. And this is a really cool scene where you just see it emerge from the blizzard, and this is actually the DVD cover, which is really cool for Pacific Rim.
Oh,
the
yeah.
scene where it's just like the broken down robot in front of a father and son. It's just such a great image that doesn't get talked about a lot, but I just think it's really cool. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, so do you know, okay, this is per frame, by the way. Do you know how long it took to make a singular frame of this movie with the VFX?
How long? Oh my goodness.
The budget's crazy.
Roughly 48 hours.
Holy shit.
To make one frame.
Wow.
And there are a total of like roughly like 1,600 VFX shots in this movie.
And guess what? They could do it because this was before they rushed studios into deadlines. This is before This is when they actually knew how to like process a schedule and actually give the effects artists enough time.
Yeah, it
Rip
took like,
Spider-Verse
4
3.
years.
R.I.P. Spider-Verse 3.
Oh god. Yeah.
But that beach scene in Alaska, by the way, I know I talked about it already, but again, I just want to refer to it as like the scaling scene. I think there's a reason that scene is in the movie. It literally is for the fact of showing like what a human looks like in comparison to the Jaegers, and the movie does that plenty of other times, right? But like this isn't like in like the Shatter Dome where there's like a bunch of construction around and there's cranes and like there's people walking by and there's golf carts driving by, or like city buildings, you know, that make the Jaegers like scale up to. Like this is the scene where it's nothing but ocean and ground and snow, and you have the two people and you have the massive Jaeger, and the size difference is just, it's so immense.
It really is.
And I mean, you get that feeling right there at the movie, and that's just one of the many ways it hooks you in. And it does it again later in the film. It doesn't even need to do it as impressively, but it does it again. And it does it time and time again, and it's just really good at doing it the way it does it through the whole film. And we can continue to talk about that more, because the following scenes are just great too.
They definitely have a lot of fun with it. So we jump to 5 years later, and it is when Rowley is now a construction worker, and they're trying to build a new operation called, is it called the Wall of Hope, I believe?
I think so.
I think that's right. I could be wrong. That scene is so like brush past. I mean, it's important for Raleigh's character development, but they do not spend a lot of time on him being a construction worker. And of course, who wants that?
It's called the Wall of Life.
But yeah, okay, gotcha.
Life.
Yeah, it's something you know, hopeful, but you know, as do you want to keep going with what happens in this scene, or you want me to take it away?
It just shows how like dire everything is right now, where you have like millions of construction workers working on this horribly unsafe like working environment, even to the fact that they're showing that 3 people died. Like multiple people are dying working on this damn thing, and they show you like 5 minutes later, after Rowley gets done welding and has to traverse down like 100 feet, that these worlds do not do anything at all.
Nope.
Yeah.
And while this is happening, before we see Rowley, they talk about that kaijus are getting stronger, Jaegers are dying faster, and that the government and world powers are pulling the plug on the Jaeger program, and they're trying to put all their money in on the Wall of Life and like the Coastal Guard protection.
Yeah.
And
which to me that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
Much
agreed.
like a obvious wall joke here.
we joked about it with Rex when I was watching it with him.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's such a weird. It's one of those moments where the guy's like, "I got good news and bad news. Good news.
What's the good
bad
news?
Is we lost 3 people. Good news is we got 3 new jobs."
Woo!
Yeah, that was yeah, they think that this wall is gonna work and it's gonna save them all. I don't know if the walls were like full of like heavy artillery like defenses or something, and we only just saw them building a portion of it. But either way, the mood of war just fucking claws its way through like nobody's business. And it's shortly after this point and on the news feed where we get our first look at Striker Eureka. And I mean, gents, how do we feel about this thing moving as smooth as it does, just off rip in its debut?
Oh, it's like butter.
Bro,
Yeah,
it's crazy, dude.
It's like freaking butter, my friend.
It is like. Go ahead, Cade. No, I want to hear what you have to say.
He like literally he just fucking weaves so much and it's so good.
Oh
So
my god.
It's so badass.
So I think Striker Eureka is supposed to be like pretty much like the second gen of Gypsy Danger, of how in the movie you see Gypsy Danger being like very like it's powerful but it's very slow, very methodical between punches. Striker Eureka is literally like buttery smooth punching, like rapid fire, like immediate like onslaught and attack. And that is pretty much like the last bastion of hope for Jaegers. They apparently hold the record for the most kaijus killed at 10. They are the strongest Jaeger on the team so far. And and of course the one of the pilots is a fucking dickhead, so that's fun. And they're Australian, so they're a little bit cooler.
No, yeah, all the Jaegers have personality just in the cultures alone. Like, you can associate Striker Eureka with, like, the Australian pilots, and you can associate Cherno Alpha with the Russian pilots and Crimson Typhoon with the Chinese pilots. I think that's a big part of the reason why we need, like, why we definitely could have used more Jaegers in this movie. I mean, the movie can only give us so much, otherwise we're being overfed, and it's like, okay, we don't want to be given too much, but at the same time, it's like, the movie just does such a good job of showing how well it can give character to something, and like you watch the whole thing wanting more of that, because obviously we're going to talk about the other Jaegers later, but just, I mean, Striker, the way it moves and the way it looks too. I mean, Cade, it looks like a straight fucking like Iron Man suit. Like none of the other Jaegers give me that impression. Like Cherno, like Sebastian said, like Cherno is bulky, it's big, it looks like a building.
Yes,
right?
it is a walking building.
With like a trucker. It literally is a fortress. I get Stack Attacka vibes from Pokemon.
Oh, wow.
You look at like Crimson Typhoon.
That's a deep cut.
You look at Crimson Typhoon, you're like, okay. Sue me. You look at Crimson Typhoon, it's got 3 arms. Okay, that's the niche. Gypsy Danger, it's nuclear. It's an older.
It's nuclear. It's rugged. It's
Yeah, and then but it has that presence. But Striker is literally like, bro. We can you like edit a clip of just Striker wearing like black Air Forces, because that's how this motherfucker was moving the entire movie. like straight up. Like, that is how Striker was moving for the entire film. Just ruthless and quick. And it's just awesome.
Fun fact real quick, some trivia for you, Jack, since you're the so-called expert. So apparently Striker Eureka was supposed to be the actual, like, main character. He was the main Jaeger for this movie. Like, he was the original design, but Guillermo del Toro thought it was too jagged and too, like, sharp-looking to be the main character. So they made Gypsy Danger as kind of, like, the standard, like, the more basic and more, like... pretty much like the most broad appeal Jaeger, which I think they did a fantastic job with Gypsy Danger and making it look classic, yet like making it look older, yet like still really futuristic and cool. Like, oh my god, I love how they model the Jaegers like realistically to look like bomber jets. Like, they have like decals on them, they have like pangs. They're given names like Striker Eureka, Gypsy Danger, Crimson Typhoon, Cherno Alpha. Like, they're given like these bomber like weapon names, and it's awesome. And
so a little trivia for you, actually, but like if you want to get into more of like the bomber names.
Volleying back.
Trivia.
I'm gonna reverse trivia you. I don't know if you know this, but so Stacker Pentecost, so before he stops being a pilot, of course before the end of the movie, the name of the Jaeger that he piloted was Coyote Tango, and that's just like, to me, as military as it gets.
that really is
literally
insane.
like Coyote Tango.
I'm just imagining
yes.
imagine someone just go Coyote Tango going dark.
Bro, that's what it like that's what I can I can just hear Idris Elba like saying something like that.
Yeah.
Like it really does do a good job of like making it feel militarized. Like, it's an organization. And not just, we're not here to fight these monsters for fun kind of thing, but we're here to watch them fight them for fun. And that's what this movie's so great at that. Which is why, speaking of what?
Yeah.
Cade, go ahead.
Speaking of Idris Elba, after they saw the wall get turned down, Idris Elba shows up. It's like, hey, you want to pilot Jaeger again? He's like, sure.
Somehow Idris Elba returned.
Yeah. And this is how we learn about pretty much everything that we were talking about for the last 10 minutes. Like, Rowley gets brought to the Shatterdome, which is the last like base force and like military base for the Jaegers. He gets introduced to Mako, which is the assistant / kind of adopted daughter
Love
of
interest.
Pentagos. He sees that Gypsy Danger has been rebuilt, re-innovated, and upgraded, and now he runs completely nuclear. He is one of a kind now, and they gave him upgrades that they don't disclose to him for some reason.
People.
They don't disclose to him the pilot of what this is, what this new thing is capable of, which is actually so funny in hindsight.
Stacker literally shows up and is able to find Raleigh's exact location where he's working, but forgets to tell him about the big fucking sword they added to his robot.
Hey, by the way, we also added a really cool looking mini fridge. You can crack open a beer.
Would that be a DUI? Wait, if we drifted and I got drunk, would you also get drunk?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Just making sure that's how.
Dog, I'm not doing this sober.
y'all are gonna get
no. I mean, if I drank, would you feel it? Like, because we're drifting.
Oh, if someone was inebriated while piloting, would the other person feel it? Oh, that's a cool idea.
Because you live in their thoughts, like literally.
Oh my god, that would suck. Imagine it's just a permanent. It's like when you try going to sleep when you're drunk. It's just a roller coaster spin.
Oh my god.
Does that mean that
so
both
terrible.
people get a hangover after they wake up?
Oh my god.
No.
But no. So
That would suck.
when you guys get shatter-faced.
Oh my god, bro! The Shatterdome is so cool. By the way, just the name Shatterdome.
Shatterdome.
Like, whoever the fuck came up with that for the movie needs a raise, like immediately. Like, make this guy the CEO of Legendary. It's just. It's really you can appreciate the littlest things about Pacific Rim. I mean, at this point, like, what scene are we at that we can appreciate now? We've talked about Australia and the wall getting taken down. He's back at the Shatterdome, like you said.
Let's talk about the scientific end of the Shatterdome. Who are our scientists, guys?
Oh my god, it's Luigi from the Mario movie.
Yes! It's literally...
Let's fucking go!
Mamma mia.
Mamma mia. we got
Mamma
okay,
mia.
so we got Luigi and that one priest from Beetlejuice. Let's fucking go.
Oh, and they're so perfect together.
They're such a
throughout the
fun
entire
yin and
film.
yang. So Charlie Day is in this. This is my first exposure to Charlie Day as an actor in person, and I immediately loved him in this movie. He's like one of the best parts and like one of the best human characters in Pacific Rim. He's the most memorable, at least. Right next to Hannibal Chow, but we'll get there. So it's funny with him because he is a scientist, I don't think he's a scientist to better humanity and actually fight the good fight. He studies them because he thinks they're fucking cool. And he wants...
Yeah.
It's just
That's so cool, man. It's so cool.
Dude, he shows them what is essentially the equivalent of a 9/11 tattoo of just these kaijus that he has tattooed onto his arm. It's like, yeah, this kaiju's so cool. And it's like, and Rowley's looking at him like, we fought that and like thousands of people died in that fight. Like, what
he was
the
like,
fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Charlie's character, Newt, has to just kind of find out, like, these things they're more than just like lab rats and creatures to study. Like, they're dangerous and they're You know, they've done a lot of harm to people physically and psychologically, and taken loved ones from a lot of people.
These kaijus are real jerks.
Yeah, man, they're assholes.
Yeah.
Fucking
And
douchebags.
it's a very big thing a lot of our characters have to reconcile with throughout the movie. Like even in the movie, like, you know, people die. And it's
And the
just,
funny thing is, I could totally see someone being like Charlie Day's character with how America treats Godzilla after 2014.
Yeah.
Because they treat him and Kong like they're boys. And it's
Yeah.
just like, these are giant monsters that are destroying property to fight another giant monster.
You know how in
this is supposed to be like a sad time.
You know how in Daredevil Born Again they
Exactly.
have like the Punisher like faction of the police force? Do you think we would have like Kong and Godzilla sympathizers? It's like we're the cult of Kong.
Oh,
I don't know.
oh,
I would just root for
absolutely.
I would just root for Godzilla. That's
Yeah.
all I know.
Ah, shit! It's Superman.
But we. Oh man, but yeah, no. The kaiju are real jerks. But you know, here's the thing. So I will say, Sebastian, you said that this is your first exposure to Charlie Day as an actor, and I'm pretty sure it's mine too. I can't think of any media I've seen him in earlier than that.
Because me and Cade
And
both
I
That's not
are.
mine, but
You go. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. No, you're good.
Me and
I
Cade
just was gonna
both
say,
brushed up. I'll
Charlie is I'm sorry.
go. Nothing.
The lag
Okay.
is so bad.
So me
You
and
go.
Cade.
Okay,
Me,
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. Me
Oh
and Cade
my God.
both brushed up on Always Sunny. We watched all of Always Sunny in Philadelphia later on afterwards, so we love Charlie Day, like still. But this was my first exposure to him, like when I was like 12 years old, and he is so fun in this movie. Go to your Charlie Day story. I'm sorry.
Yes. No, you're okay. I think there was like my Discord's Wi-Fi went red. So I think that was a me issue. So I want to like make note to that because of how just like noticeable of an actor he is. My girlfriend loves Charlie Day, and the first time we watched this movie, she didn't know he was in it, so I was really excited to show it to her. And the first scene you meet him isn't actually on the elevator where he's like shaking hands with everybody. You briefly see him with the other oh my god, I'm forgetting the other scientist guy's name. Holy shit. Either way. You briefly see him with his other scientists, and you don't actually like see his face or like get an introduction to who he is. You just see him, and he's tweaking out over something a little bit. And we get to that scene, and my girlfriend spots who he is and is like, "Is that Charlie Day?" Based on how like good he was tweaking. He's just that recognizable and like perfect for just the roles that he's in. Like, he's so great as Newt. He's so funny and he's so crazy and he's so nerdy, and it's like the fans of him can recognize that without even having to like directly see his face on the screen. And I'm sure, you know, you probably feel that way too about him, watching him through the film, because you know it's him. When an actor gets to be 100%, you know, you can't help but think to yourself, it's like, oh, it's Charlie Day, but he's so good. He still just rocks it.
Charlie
completely.
Day in voice and just personality, he is on the opposite side of the spectrum as like Patrick Warburton, where he's the only one who could do his thing and no one else can copy.
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. You know, that's I think that's the big one people talk about. There's
Robert
just
Downey
certain
Jr.'s
people
Iron
who
Man.
have their place.
Robert
Yeah,
Downey
they have
Jr.'s
their place
Iron
in
Man.
Hollywood,
Charlie
and-
Day is Newt Geyser. Oh my
They are
god.
the same. They are on
my
the same
gosh.
coin.
Oh my god. Tony Stark
Yeah.
had been so useful in Pacific Rim.
Oh my
True.
god. Dude, the,
could've been
the
like-
kaiju buster.
Oh my
The
god.
kaiju buster.
That'd be so
He could do
cool.
that. He could 100% do that. But anyway, so yeah, so he gets Rowley gets to see the Jaegers, he gets to see the scientists, and now he gets to go through the partners, and he needs to pick a partner of who he's gonna pilot with, which weirdly enough, the
Was drift
audition
compatible with him, yeah.
the trial is decided by bow staff fighting. I don't know about you guys, but did you ever see? No, but the fact is, did you ever see a Jaeger use a bow staff in this movie?
So A, that'd be really fucking cool.
That would have been actually.
B, no. But C, I think most importantly, so I mean, drift compatibility. I like to. I don't know if this is true, but I like to think that in some fashion it is. I think, drift compatibility, you link minds with each other. It only works with certain people. I think you have to have, like, similar, like, fighting instincts or similar, like combat techniques. Like, you would throw a punch the same way another person would throw a punch, so the synergy is already there. Type of thing. And, like, I think bow staff fighting in that specific scene, it shows better synergy than just like throwing hands, because you have to be intricate. But it's never disclosed in the movie, so it does feel. So I totally get why it feels really ridiculous, because it just seems like they're whacking each other for no reason. And also because we need people.
Nah, bow staff fighting's cool.
No, it is cool, but of course we need people fight scenes in the giant robot fighting monster movie. But no, yeah, I totally understand the perspective of it's weird. I think that might be a way to look at it.
The thing is that the people fighting thing makes sense to me. And this is like, I'll reference back to like early on in the podcast. It doesn't make any sense to me when there were people fighting each other in Godzilla Final Wars. Remember that, Seb?
Oh, I remember every single frame of that movie, and I do not regret having that on the episode. I do regret the people I have on the episode, Cade. Jack, you and me, we're gonna ditch this bozer. We're gonna watch Godzilla Final Wars and praise it.
No. Oh yeah, well, I mean, as we should. But we gotta finish praising this movie first, I think. Right?
Yeah,
we gotta.
You're so right.
We got to do Pacific Rim some justice, because it's really just it's a fantastic film. Because now we're at, I mean, after this is the point of the movie where we get to know our characters a lot better. With the bow staff fighting, there's a lot more people introduction through this. We find out about I don't think this is for a while, but we do find out about Mako. After they try to hook her up in the Jaeger with Raleigh, and it doesn't work out too well. And by work out too well, I mean everybody almost dies and it explodes. We find out a little bit more about Stacker. We don't get the flashback scene quite right there, but we do learn about why he, like we just get to know more about the characters. And
yeah,
I mean, is there anything in any portion of this, in any part of in any of these parts of the films that like stands out to you guys? Because we can talk about a lot of what these different characters like went through. I think a lot of the backstories are really, truly interesting. Anything?
So I will say, there are some interesting characters in this movie. This is one thing that, like we said before with the Monsterverse, that Pacific Rim does very well. Where it makes almost all, like, if not all of them, like all the human characters, interesting. They're not boring. None of them are boring characters to like. You'd be like, oh, you can say like, oh, they're like cliche, or maybe you don't like them that much. You can't deny they're not boring. They're archetypes, exactly. Meanwhile, like the Monsterverse, it's like army guy. Army guy.
I will say still, in the Monsterverse, I think my favorite movie is still Kong Skull Island, because that from front to back knows immediately what it wants to be. And it doesn't take itself seriously at all. We will one day.
Kong Skull Island is fantastic. Yeah, no, you guys, I would love to see you guys do an episode on that. And I would love to invade the podcast
we should
for
definitely
more kaiju movies.
We should definitely talk about more about the Monsterverse in general, because that's a very sneakily good like series of films.
The Monsterverse is great. I think King of the Monsters, the 2019 one, is so fantastic. I enjoy it all the way through. And
That's
you know,
fair.
part of me almost wishes we could see the Jaegers outside of this respective universe. By the way, because there's so many good giant monsters out there. I'm not saying throw Gypsy Danger in a Godzilla movie because we know how that ends. Godzilla wins.
Oh,
But
can we talk about that real quick? We talk about scale in this movie and how big the Jaegers are.
Yeah.
When someone did the math,
Yeah.
Gypsy Danger is 250 feet tall, and Godzilla is
Yeah.
400 feet tall. So
Yes.
there's always the
There's-
bigger fish. But when you're playing with
Godzilla,
scale,
I think
It's
Godzilla literally classifies, I think, as like a Category 6 kaiju. I think I couldn't tell you, but
brother,
he's
that
big.
that motherfucker is a category 10. Like, what are we talking about here?
he's category
Godzilla
7
is.
at most. They have to build an even
Yeah.
bigger Jaeger that needs 4 people to operate.
Oh my
One
gosh.
for each appendage.
Oh, for the leg! I'm the leg
Just turning into
pilot.
Power Rangers now.
Exactly,
It's
become
Power
Power
Rangers.
Rangers.
No.
Dude, the sneakiest backdoor pilot to enter Power Rangers into the Monsterverse.
That would be really funny.
I mean,
but
to be fair,
just talking about scale there, it would be. Sorry,
No,
it's
go
just
ahead,
funny.
go
Like
ahead.
we talk about scales, like it's basically coughing baby versus atomic bomb.
Yeah.
Oh my god, no, that's so true. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how like it is definitely Coughing Baby versus Atomic Bomb, especially since the Jaegers are just like they're so what's it called? They have their weaknesses in this film. It's shown in every single one of them.
Yeah.
Crimson has a weak spot, and Cherno is only really fit for land battling. Gypsy is older and slower, and I mean Striker didn't really necessarily have weaknesses, but it did get outsized, and that alone is enough to, be a problem when you're fighting.
It can get
a
overwhelmed
giant
Yeah,
if there are more than one kaiju.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But I will
But
say.
yeah, so
Nope. Go ahead. You're good. Because I want to keep. I can keep talking about the visuals all day. That's my thing.
Yeah.
I could just keep going about it.
honestly, yeah. But a amazing visual that we could talk about is when Mako finally gets to pilot Gypsy Danger and they do the test run, which, by the way, horrible layout for the test run. You couldn't do it
Terrible
from
idea.
you couldn't watch it from like a mile away. Maybe just free of danger. You have to be
Yeah.
right in front of them with an inexperienced pilot. But
Let's have
Yeah.
the plasma cannon pointed right at our face while we do this.
exactly, yeah. And I was thinking about it when I was
Yep.
watching. It's like they could have had him like with their back turned, like facing away from them. But yeah, so we
They could
see
have been outside. Like-
Mako experience the drift for the first time. And
we
she's
did,
not
and
built
it
for
does
this.
not go too well.
She is not built for
No,
it.
she's not.
So they have a phrase when you're drifting through someone's memories of do not chase the rabbit. Do not get stuck in a memory. Just let it pass. And this is hard to do for people sometimes. It was hard for Rowley at first, but then he got a grip. But Mako got stuck in a specific memory, and who wants to talk about what the specific memory is?
Basically, it's a kaiju like killed her whole family. That's kind of how you sum it up there.
Correct.
I think something else big
she's
happened.
a little kid running from the kaiju.
Well, something else does
also-
happen. I was gonna say, how far into this do we want to go?
We can go far.
We could
into
go
it.
farther if we really want to.
We're already an hour in.
Yeah.
We have to like. We didn't even
We gotta
talk about
move
the
here.
big
Anyways.
spot yet.
True.
Yeah, but yeah, pretty much in her memory, it's her family got slaughtered by a kaiju, and then Idris Elba killed that kaiju and adopted her, pretty much.
Yep. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna nerd out again a little bit.
Go ahead.
The kaiju's name in this part was Oni Baba. I believe it was a category 2. And it was like a giant crab. The kaiju in
That's
this
cool.
film, I don't know about Pacific Rim Uprising. I'm sorry that.
What's
the
that?
fan
Is that a fan film?
Yeah, the fan film. I don't know about that film, but I know for this film a lot of the kaiju were based on animals. Nearly, or at least like,
that makes sense.
Well, I mean, the trespasser and the knife head, like, I mean, knife and axe, like, sharp, pointy, scary weapon. But, like, you look at the Onibaba on that part, it's not there long. But if you do look at it, you can tell it's got claws. And it's got, like, a pincer mouth. And you can make out the fact that it does, in fact, look like a crab. It does give the kaiju a feeling of some realism. Obviously, not a lot, but it does, it does tie you into that sense of, like, there is some evolutionary biology within these creatures, even though they don't come from our world, or at least we think, right, because of that. But obviously, this isn't the, as cool as that kaiju fight was. It's not the kaiju fight that we're here to talk about. I don't think.
Nah.
After Mako.
Let's talk about the kaiju fight
sir.
here.
Before we jump into it, I just want to quickly say, before we leave the Mako scene, I just want to say. Did you guys hear that child Mako's actress had a hard time pronouncing Guillermo del Toro's name, so she got very special permission from Guillermo himself for her to refer to him as Totoro-san.
Aww.
That's great.
That's so cute.
It's so cute.
I love that. I didn't know that.
She called him Totoro, the little kid actress.
Bro, I have trouble pronouncing his name. Like, I totally get it.
Thankfully, I watched enough of What We Do in the Shadows to pronounce Guillermo. Guillermo.
Yeah, no, you just gotta turn the two L's into a Y.
Yeah.
But we can keep
Guillermo.
Listen, we gotta keep going on how well he directed this fucking film.
Yeah,
because
let's.
We are officially. Are we at the double event, boys? I think we've made it to
We're
our.
at the double whammy. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go.
I remember.
Let's do this, bro.
Feeling like I had shit my pants when that popped up. like I was the only one grasping the severity of the situation at the time. In the theater, I was like, guys, there's fucking two of them. Is anyone seeing this? And it's just, oh, dude, this scene is so good. The Jaegers getting like prepped to go in and just drop it. Like, just watching the Jaegers walk is cool, and getting flown
just them.
in.
Getting deployed.
The aura farming. Yeah, the aura farming, bro. It's off the charts with these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just nuts, and they look so good. Just getting ready
they really do
take on these two kaiju. Yeah, it's incredible. So I mean, we've talked a lot about the years. We talked about Cherno, we talked about Crimson, we talked about Stryker. Gypsy's not quite here yet, but we got to talk about the kaiju in this scene, boys. I think we got to talk about the Otachi and the Leatherback.
Leatherback, yeah.
So who would like to go first?
Oh my god, what bastards!
You want to talk about Leatherback?
So.
Oof. Yeah.
So, Otachi's the first one to show up, right? Otachi's like the first one that they see before they even realize it's like two.
Yep.
Yeah. So Itachi shows up, immediately engages, and I think so. It starts off with Crimson Tycoon and Cherno Alpha, because Stryker Yutha, once as previously mentioned, he has the bomb on his back, so he's just kind of backup. So it starts off as like an initial fight. Cherno Alpha is just throwing punches, putting up his dukes, and Crimson Typhoon does this really shitty 3-arm technique with the buzzsaws that does like chip damage, essentially. I hate Crimson Typhoon so much in this. He's such a useless bastard.
Unfortunately, he was such a cool Jaeger, but yeah, he gets taken out pretty quick.
Pretty fast, honestly. This is a very tricked out kaiju that they're fighting.
Yeah, so
yeah.
No, keep going.
Itachi has can we list all the traits that Itachi has before we even get to like the last one?
Bro, I'm gonna say yes, because Otachi was my favorite kaiju in the whole film, the entire film.
Yeah. So Otachi has a prehensile tail, acid spit, just digging horrible claws, a very cold body temperature so he can't be tracked, and
tentacle tongue.
Yes. Pretty much like
and she can fly.
We
They
find
fly
out
now.
later they can fly. So it is
Yep.
a kaiju. It is a Swiss Army kaiju, and it is clearly too much
Yeah.
for Crimson Typhoon, because that tail takes out Crimson Typhoon. Next time, don't have a fucking video camera for a head, you fucking idiots. They didn't build the thing, but I'm still mad. So Crimson Typhoon gets taken out. It's pretty scary when you see the kaiju, when you see the Jaegers just go haywire when they're like missing a head and just like they just like collapse. And then Cherno Alpha, RIP to a real one, tries to come in but then gets bodied. They first get hit with the acid spit. Otachi cripples them with acid so they can't help, and when they're dealing with that, Leatherback finally comes in and fucks them over. And literally dogpiles them, like drowns them in everything. It is a horrifying death for the team of Cherno Alpha. They don't die, they suffer.
Yeah, they could not have gone painlessly.
They really couldn't.
Yeah, it was not good. And you know, the kaiju in this scene specifically, like we start to learn more here, like on how, like these kaiju, they seem like they're almost being built to counter, like be a 1-to-1 counter of the Jaeger that they're supposed to be fighting. Like you pick up on it when you see Otachi with the tail, because you know Cherno has the 3 arms, Otachi's got that extra limb, and then when Leatherback jumps out of the water, I mean, you know, you're expecting Cherno to hold its ground enough against Otachi for Stryker to get there, and then when Leatherback jumps out of the water, you're like, well, this is over. I mean, Leatherback is the size of this thing. It's gonna take it out. Like, no problem. It's already weak. So it's just, you know, it gives you it's a very like bad sense of like, oh shit, like, you know.
Do you know why these monster designs, by the way, work so well for this, and also is just a wonderful way to bring us back to Japanese kaiju movies? Because Guillermo del Toro and the design team, they designed the kaijus to look like people in costumes. They were designed they were designed specifically to have human proportions, and I feel like this is shown the best in Leatherback, where it is built to the proportions essentially of a gorilla, and how they're built to look like 2 people fighting. It's conveyed a lot better because they have full arms, they have full legs. Even Otachi, which is like the more like crazy one, like that's even built with the proportions to have legs and like tall arms. But when you compare this to something like the Muto from like Godzilla 2014, where that's like more spider built, you don't really get like the kaiju feel. But when you go to these ones, they feel more weighty, they feel more grounded because of that. And I think that's also why the fights work so well.
I think a big part of that is also because you can see the flesh and the fat move, especially on Leatherback. There's some scenes where Leatherback is taking swings and getting hit, and you just see the fat on the thing ripple, and it really gives you the sense of like this just very beastly, grungy like thing that you're boxing with essentially. I mean, its forearms are huge, its stomach is massive. It's got stubby legs, like it feels like, you know, and again, when the fat moves on its arms, and when Gypsy absolutely crushes its face with shipping containers, you see that happen.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that entrance with things, but real quick, I'm so sorry I didn't bring this up. So when these 2 Chud Jaegers are getting absolutely dogged on, Eureka tries to show up to show support and like actually try to help, but Leatherback unfortunately has an EMP. A natural EMP that he uses to take out Striker Eureka, which is a digital robot, so he can't do shit. So these kaijus wipe out their 2 Jaegers, and so all that's left is Striker Eureka, which is literally bricked. He cannot do anything.
Well, I've done all I could do.
Why we got Striker Eureka bricked up?
He's bricked up, dude.
He's so bricked up.
Oh no. Striker urethra is bricked up.
Oh no. So
Oh god.
So Otachi runs into is it South Korea that they're in, or is it Hong Kong?
I think it's Hong Kong. I'm pretty sure
it's Hong Kong.
It's Hong
yeah.
Kong for sure.
I see.
Yes, because of what happens with Charlie Day later on in
Yeah.
in the shop he goes to.
Yeah.
But
Which I believe is the whole reason why these kaijus even show up, is because it has the drift between Charlie Day and the kaiju already happened yet or no?
Yes.
So he did it a while ago. He
Yes.
does it a while ago before he visits Hannibal Chow. But I will say, that scene where he gets kicked out in the movie, where everyone's running to the shelter and the sirens are going off,
Yeah.
and you hear the roar in the background, bro. That shit was so scary. Watching that in the film.
Yeah, the public kaiju base, the public kaiju shelter, and that's also a thing. That's also a thing that like adds to the world building of like how there are these steps in place when a kaiju attacks. It looks like a shitty like repurposed bunker, and it's really cool. And so the reason that the kaijus are here, real quick, just to add some context, Charlie Day, he merged with the kaiju brain, which essentially gave a lore dump of where the kaijus are coming from and why they come for us. But unfortunately, with Charlie doing that, he pretty much made himself a target, and the aliens essentially told the kaiju to go for him and kill him. Because
so they're
trying to find the merge and where the source of it is. So they're coming for him.
Yeah.
So Otachi goes out to do that, while Leatherback pretty much stays to watch Striker Eureka. And right before Leatherback can attack Striker Eureka, because the pilots do the coolest shit I've ever seen two people do, and they fucking shoot a flare gun into his eye. And I love that so much.
My.
It's just like, hey, you!
I think we just pissed it off.
But right before that happens, you get one of the coolest moments in the movie. Jack, if you want to take it.
Cue the foghorns, boys. So Mako was able to make it work, and the last Jaeger basically standing between these two kaiju and the destruction of humanity pulls up to the fight. Nuclear powered and armed and dangerous. So, Gypsy is it's the last thing here. And it's essentially anything anyone's got left. The fact that Leatherback didn't immediately just go haywire on Stryker while it was frozen, just was, it kind of crazy to me. But at the same time,
of it, which is weird. Yeah.
I was gonna say, well, we do know these kaiju are smart, as you mentioned. All I can say is, it's lucky that Gypsy was able to show up in time, because it just absolutely fucking. I mean, it takes its fair share of hits, but it fucking rips out the back piece that causes EMPs and chucks it somewhere into the city.
Yeah.
I want to talk about this because these fights have such a fuck you energy to them, of just like, what, you're gonna do that? No, the fuck you're not.
Oh my god.
It's just a lot of pulling and taking from these kaijus of like, hey, you're not using this. That's not how it works here, buddy. You're in my house.
It feels like they're petty. I mean,
it's very petty attacks, but it starts in the water, and it's really cool. I love the entrance of Gypsy in this, and it's just like, fuck yeah. Even the douchebag like Strike Eureka pilot's like, yeah, kick his ass, get him.
I would go on to say that Gypsy's entrance is on par with Thor's entrance in Wakanda in Infinity War. Just pulling up at the right time, being the hero that everyone needs, and just being like getting that sense of like, well, Gypsy's here, these guys are fucked.
Just a breath of relief, like we're saved.
Exactly, because the thing with Gypsy was you mentioned it being a broad Jaeger, which it was, but it was good for that because it could do so many things the other Jaegers couldn't do. It was bulky enough to deal with Leatherback, but not so slow like Cherno Alpha, where it couldn't deal with Otachi. Of course, it had a hard time with both, but I mean, we see what happens to Leatherback at the end of that fight scene. You know, no pulse.
The energy the energy I got with Gypsy showing up is when your little brother's getting bullied by someone and the big brother just comes like, hey, you don't get to do that.
Exactly. And there's so much great. There's so much great like back and forth in this fight, like Gypsy getting thrown and you get that amazing shot of him like slowly hitting the ground. Like he gets thrown onto a shipping container. You get him getting shipping containers themselves and using them to fight back. You get the monster using a crane as a weapon. And it's just so much like back and forth, and it's so great. It's what you paid to see in this movie.
Yeah, it's the giant monster fighting giant robot like boxing match. But now we're I think after the leatherback fight, I was gonna say this is where
this is probably the most
gloves
iconic moment.
Off.
Yeah,
this is where the gloves come off and the actual like fucking weapons start coming in. So I need to, before we get into what happens here, Cade, I need to tell you that your special guest and our friend Logan watched this movie for the first time with me. I put it on at the girls' place. And no one was interested but him. And we get to this scene, and Logan just goes, "Is he gonna use that fucking boat as a baseball bat?"
Dude,
and I look at him and I go, "Yup."
Dude, when we were in AMC, when we were watching it for the first time with Cade in AMC, this exact scene, I look at Cade and his jaw's like wide open, like wide-eyed, like yeah.
Dude, I swear up and down, I thought Charlie Day was about to get eaten, and then you just hear the raw metal electric guitar and the screeching of steel just like ramp up in volume in the background, and then the shot changes and you just see like it's so perfect.
They know how beautifully to build it up, because you just see the boat first getting dragged by like the opposite end, and then you see the legs come in and how he's holding it like a baseball bat. And this is where the scaling
is so, this is where the scaling gets so good too, because the shots are at like car level. You're filming at the foot of the Jaeger while the boat gets bigger and bigger in frame as Gypsy's pulling up, and it's like, oh my god, like it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you're like, this thing is about a fucking mollywop the Otachi. And Cade, I need to hear how we've been talking a lot because this movie is just so great at doing this. I need to hear how you just like, I need to hear the reaction you had at this scene, and just like how you felt watching a movie play around like this for like the first time, because sci-fi movies, like they don't do raw shit like this. I feel like.
Dog, I will say with Pacific Rim, like it definitely knows how to handle its environment, and it's very creative with its fight scenes, like we said before, with the shipping containers, and especially with the boat being like, who thinks of that? Who thinks, we're gonna have the big robot pick up a freaking boat and use it as a bat? Like that's so creative and so fun of an idea, but yet it's so fucking awesome. Like Seb said, my eyes, when I saw the boat, my eyes widened. When I saw him holding the boat, my jaw dropped. I was like, no way this is about to happen.
It was one of the proudest I've ever been.
He'll be more proud of seeing my reaction than when Seb has a kid. He's like, like Pacific Rim with a boat.
Bro, you think of all the things that Gypsy can like do with the boat. Like it could throw it, or it could like, it could you're thinking of all these like things that maybe it could do to be like smart or creative. But like instead of that, you literally just get the raw like fucking throwing hands vibe. You hear boat engaged, and you watch it swing up into its hands, and you're just like, oh my god.
But real quick, before we jump into the fight, we just gotta bring up them checking for a pulse.
Oh yes, of course. I mentioned this very briefly, but you guys, how do we feel?
I mean, I get the reasoning why they did it, but also at the same time, like, brother, you could have used those shots for later.
No, I don't think they have ammo. I think they could just do it whenever, but it's so funny of how but yeah, it's just like, first off, when they're attacking Leatherback, they pretty much use its biggest strength against it, of like how it's only close quarters with size, but they gotta get close to do it. So they pretty much brace Leatherback as he's like pushing him back, and it's like, okay, you're right here, I'm literally gonna shoot you point blank into the chest. Constantly. It is constant, like, firing into it, and it is awesome. And Leatherback loses an arm, which is a nice callback to the beginning of the movie. Of just like, fuck you, I'm taking your arm now. This is mine. And
it's mine now.
And so Leatherback dies, finally, but before they leave, they do what Rowley should have done at the beginning. Wait, let's check for a pulse just to make sure it's dead. And they just fucking unload the clip into that fucking thing to the point its torso explodes.
They button spammed, dude. It was so funny.
It was so great.
Yeah.
This was me coming from like Zombieland, where there was all about the double tap of like just making sure it's dead. It's so great of just when you see that logic being used, it's nice.
It gives light to the whole scene too, because it's like, Raleigh is like, Mako has this impression of Raleigh that he's irresponsible because he makes decisions that get the people around him hurt. But in that scene, he's like, he makes the call to check for a pulse. He, like you said, fucking mag dumps into the already likely dead Leatherback and goes, no pulse. And it just gives you the sense of like, all right, he's grown and it's one down, one to go, and Gypsy's already kicked ass and isn't missing any limbs, so there's still a chance of winning this. There's a lot of like the scene, that scene particularly gives a lot of great emotion while also just preserving the whole really cool, giant robot battle.
Just having fun with it, yeah. So let's jump into Itachi finally. So he takes his boat that is once again beautifully brought up in suspense of like, I'm gonna take this boat and beat the shit out of you with it, like so much frustration but yet so much swagger in it. And he does what you hope he does. He fucking uses this thing as a baseball bat and bludgeons the shit out of Itachi.
Oh my god.
But
it was beautiful.
Unfortunately, good times don't last, because Itachi, I think, grabs it with his tail and throws it, and this fucking boat goes throughout buildings and gets wedged in between two. So that was sick.
I mean, that's a cool looking set piece for like a restaurant or whatever. It's like, it's the boathouse or whatever.
and which, by the way, like we'll finally jump into like how the action is structured with when they're fighting kaiju, especially with Gypsy Danger, because we brought up before how Striker Eureka is like really fast and like very agile with punching and offense. Gypsy Danger is not like that, because Gypsy Danger is just straight up hydraulic punching of just like, there is so much time in between punches, but you feel every impact. You feel all the weight. There was a rocket elbow that they engaged against Leatherback, and you see the full impact of that punch, and Leatherback having to shake that off, and it is so fucking good. Like, and I love that.
I'm fairly certain that scene actually has impact frames.
It really does.
That's
honestly
really cool if it did. Yeah.
I love that.
I think it does.
How they're building like engage rocket elbow, and it's literally to throw a punch. Like, they show how much goes into moving so much like space. In a great showing of scale was, funnily enough, like one of the only practical shots in the movie of Gypsy's fist going through an office building. They shot that for real. They just imposed it like the actual arm, but they showed the debris flying through in the behind the scenes, and it's so fun. But yeah, you see how
there's
much...
a lot of...
You go.
I was just gonna say, like, there's way more like practical effects in this movie than any average viewer would imagine. And when you learn that, it just makes the whole thing even more fun, I feel like. And I just wanted to say that, and I'm sorry to cut you off. I just wanted to say that to give a nod to like what you were saying, because the movie's already heavily CGI for a number of good reasons, but now it's like, it's like, you look at all these practical effects where you wouldn't expect them, and it's just like, wow, I never would have thought they could have made it work like that. And it's like they must have had really, like, the more you look at that, the more you realize how much fun they had with the film.
They really did. And I was thinking about, like, where else is it practical? I'm like, oh yeah, the inside of the Jaeger suits are real. I was seeing behind the scenes of them. Yep. They are in these moving spaces, these giant, like, death trap factories, which is so cool to see. Especially later on when they're, like, walking through it for a couple of scenes. But, but back to the practical shot of the office space, you see how much they're traveling through just to throw, like, a simple punch. Because it looks like a human punch, like, where it only goes, like, 1 or 2 feet. But for them, they're traveling, like, hundreds of feet just to get that fist to hit a specific face. And the rest of this fight is just problem solving. Because it is like, oh shit, his tail is attacking us, what are we gonna do? Fuck your tail, cryogenic freezing, and you just see the absolute toolkit that Gypsy Danger is equipped with of dealing with bullshit like this. So they so the tail is wrapping around the arm, and it's like, oh shit, he's gonna grab our arm, he's gonna grab our head and rip it off, what are we gonna do? Activating liquid nitrogen or CO2, and it fully goes through the arm. It like freezes the tail with the fist attached, but it freezes to the point where the entire tail breaks off, and you get one of the coolest like winding of the fists of like every single finger like oscillating and moving of like, my hands back to fucking fuck you up again. It's like such great like
and
fuck you
just
energy.
For it to do exactly that in the very next frame, by the way, and fucking yoink out Otachi's tongue.
I love that shit. Of just like how it shoots the acid and he dodges it and it hits a building. It's like, oh shit, that's acid. And he tries to again and he just straight up is like, no!
Nope, fuck
and
you.
He just fucking tears that shit out.
Throws the hand
you don't
right.
Get shit.
Throws the hand right in the mouth full of fresh acid.
Yeah, but who cares, honestly, at that point? It's just like, fuck you, you don't get to use this again. You lose your acid privileges.
Yeah, and
that's pretty much how to sum up any fight with Gypsy Danger. You lose your blank privileges.
That really is, yeah.
You lose your arm, you lose your tail, you lose your acid. Pretty soon you're gonna lose your wings. Like,
wait, you have wings?
Oh shit! They fly now.
They fly now.
They fly now.
But yeah, so Itachi has wings.
Itachi has wings.
Yeah.
And then, Itachi brings them into the fucking stratosphere. And it's like, oh shit, now what are we gonna do? It's like, we're out of options. We're losing CO2. We have nothing. And then Mako, in her infinite wisdom of not telling Rowley what they have, it's like, no, we have one last option. The fucking sword. Pretty much the bread and butter of the rest of this movie.
And it is, to be fair, awesome. The sword is awesome.
It really is awesome.
And I will say, I do find the one thing I will never understand is how, I mean, I guess I do understand it. Mako didn't tell Raleigh about the sword, but knew about it before he did.
I think,
They had to insult it.
Wasn't she like the lead designer on the upgrades for Gypsy Danger?
I think so.
Yes. Okay, that's fair. I always defer to Idris Elba as like the person for all of like the important like manager roles in this movie, because he is just, oh my god, I can't wait to talk about his speeches.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
But yes, Mako does pull the one last trick out of the sleeve that they need. Pulls out the sword, and just like that, Otachi becomes Otuchi and turns into two pieces of itself.
Otuchi.
And falls.
No, we see Otuchi a little bit later.
Otuchi. Yes, we do see Otuchi a little bit later, but that's after the Otachi number one. falls from the sky, just like Gypsy Danger. But Gypsy Danger does that shit in motherfucking style.
He really does fall with style.
You beat me. You beat me to it.
I'm sorry.
He really.
You're good.
But I'm sorry, Cade. I'm sorry he beat you to it. But he really does fall in style. You get the beautiful shot of him basically burning up as he re-enters the atmosphere, and just for him to land in a fucking, is it a football stadium?
It's a football stadium, like straight up.
Mm-hmm.
But in Hong Kong, are there football stadiums in Hong Kong?
Oh, there's gotta be, yeah. They still take sports seriously.
I'll allow it.
It's for mahjong.
For the sake of this movie, we will assume that there are football stadiums in Hong Kong. But Gypsy Danger lands back in the football stadium in Hong Kong, thankfully in one piece, and the day is relatively saved. I would say completely.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's I mean, before we just get into the remainder of the movie, I just have to say that the double event scene is I could like equate it to the Sands battle in Undertale. It's not the last climactic part of the movie, but it is by far the most memorable and most fun part of the movie. Just like how, you know, Undertale, you have Asgore, he's the boss, the last boss fight, but Sands is the most memorable and the hardest boss fight. Like, you know, there's more to think about in the movie than how it ends, and that's just what I really love about this scene. But we can take it away with the rest of the film, because I know we've been talking a while.
I was not expecting Undertale to come up in my Pacific Rim review, but here we go.
That wasn't on my bingo card, I'll be honest.
You're welcome, citizen.
So yeah, after this whole thing, pretty much, if memory serves, how does the one Australian guy still have a bone to pick with the Rowley?
Well, I think he's
like,
still,
how does
he's still bitter that he got his
just
ass
ego
kicked.
Yeah, I guess, which leads to it leads to like an actual fight between the two actors.
Wait, that actually happened?
Like so realistic that like no. Well, no. When I say actually happened, I mean like he actually broke Charlie Hunnam's nose during that sequence.
Oh wow!
When they fought. Yeah.
We're all pulling out like special trivia that we all collectively did not know.
Yeah, he actually, because they like revealed it in a panel in like 2013. He's like, yeah, no, he actually broke my nose. Wow. And he was glad that he was like very proud that they kept that in the movie, because like, yeah, how crazy would it be if like an actor broke another one's nose and you cut that from the movie
and you don't use it in the movie? Yeah.
It reminds me of the bet that what's his name, Flash Thompson's actor in Toby's first Spider-Man movie. He had like a bet with one of like the crew members, like if you actually like knock out Tobey Maguire, I'll give you like $100. He's like, I don't want to lose my career knocking out Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
Which smart of him.
So you get back to the Shatter Dome. It's like, hey, you fucking did an amazing job, but unfortunately we still have to carry out this plan. So we gotta start that clock over again. So yeah, unfortunately we gotta go back out. So it was kind of a bittersweet experience coming back.
Yeah. To be fair though, I mean, as bittersweet as it is, you know, they do have the clock does have to be reset. The kaiju aren't fully defeated, but we do get amazing proof that Mako is a capable pilot, and that, you know, we're not just now relying on Stryker to win the fight for everybody, and that you know, there is some level of support, and that you know, Gypsy is up and running as the latest modern Jaeger is.
I was also just going to quickly say, we should mention this is very important detail. One of Stryker's pilots, the dad, is injured during that fight, so he is unable to pilot a Jaeger. Anyways, continue.
We interrupt this Cinema Dopes review for a sidebar. So while this is all happening, Charlie Day goes to Hannibal Chow's place. Hannibal Chow is a black market kaiju dealer who deals in organs, parasites, pretty much anything under the sun kaiju. And Charlie Day was like, hey, dude, I need some kaiju parts. I need a kaiju brain to dissect and look more into. And Hannibal Chow's like, wait a second, you drifted with that fucking thing, right? It's like, yeah, a little bit. It's like, you fucker, he's gonna come for you. What do you do? And so Hannibal Chow sent his ass to
What did you do?
Hannibal Chow sent his ass to a public bunker where he went to his private one. But after Charlie Day got his ass saved by Gypsy Danger, Charlie Day goes back, tries to get a kaiju brain. Hannibal Chow's like, okay, I guess I owe it to you. And so they go to Otachi. Otachi unveils their last surprise weapon, childbearing hips, because they give birth to a new kaiju. And that is a payoff to
hips.
That is a payoff to a small comment made by Charlie Day's character of just saying, wait, these are clones. That's the only way that they keep coming back. It's like, no, these fuckers do and pray. They give birth to each other. It's like, ew. And I'm like, that's disgusting.
So are they mammals?
I guess, honestly, they're like more fish creatures, but I guess they are mammals, but they're also reptilian. I don't know. But they're also crabs.
Yeah,
Let's not think too much about it.
Correct.
Let's not think too much about this. Let's change the subject about Rob Perlman getting killed.
So Rob Perlman gets eaten by the true Atuchi. So
R.I.P. to Hellboy.
R.I.P. to Atuchi, who dies right after eating Hellboy.
That does happen, and then Charlie is like, oh well, saw someone get eaten in front of me, oh, let's go drift with more kaiju. And guess what, instead of, this is what I love about the movie, one more thing I love about the movie, instead of the villains telling the people their evil plot, the people find out themselves.
Yeah, they figure it out themselves.
They figure it out that the breach reads every single kaiju like a genetic code, and that if anything is not recognized, it can't get in. It's similar to how the immune system works. The immune system reads a pathogen, it recognizes whether that pathogen is has been in your body before and isn't harmful to you, and lets it in.
And that's awesome. And like, if this was a lesser movie, if they did make a hypothetical sequel, they wouldn't have the villain explain to the audience, the very stupid audience, what they're doing. That thankfully there wasn't a sequel for that to happen. So I'm glad in this movie they actually treat us with respect, and they actually figure out what will happen, and they're shown it, and they explain what it's gonna happen, but it's not in like an expository way. You see later how they explain it. But before this happens, they have to go underwater to the actual rift. The portal.
And this scene is where I learned how to walk in the pool like a Jaeger at 8 years old.
Yeah. I kind of feel bad because I feel like everyone kind of like never talks about the scene. I forgot about the final fight because you're too busy thinking about the city fight and picturing that as the last fight in the movie. But no, we get a really great final fight in reality. Even though it's underwater, you could see everything that's happening because they brilliantly, yet again, do it around the rift, which is glowing, and underwater volcanoes, so it's illuminated even though you're at the bottom of the sea. Like, it's a great, like, odds being stacked against them fight. It's very high tension, very, like, not even ass-pulley, of just, like, very plausible ways for them to, like, stack the favor against them, or, like, stack the odds in their favor.
I wanted to say the water scene, it does two things really well. We don't get to see the Jaegers submerged in water. Like fully submerged in water a lot. Obviously, they don't want to be down there. It's probably more intensive on like the systems in there. But it is cool to be able to see, the Jaegers go into the kaiju's kind of domain, and that's the other thing the movie does really well. It shows how elusive and how animalistic the kaiju are at moving in like the areas that in the habitats that they're familiar with. Is Raiju, the Raiju that's moving around, and they're like, oh, this thing's moving so fast, we don't know where it is. It moves like an alligator, and the movie does a really good job of making that thing feel like an alligator. And it just, it's, again, it gives a great sense of like, we're against all odds here. We're not in our, like, it does a good job of showing the humans are not in their habitat. Like, like they're in the domain of the creatures, and the creatures kind of have the home field advantage.
And honestly, like, they really stack it by having the scale of just showing, like, these are 2 category 4s defending the portal. Like, a category 3 started this mess. Like, that just shows like how up in level like they're dealing with. And it shows even more when I think a 3rd one comes in and takes out the arm of Gypsy at the beginning of the fight. Literally, like, they are starting
The category
immediately.
5.
No, that wasn't the category 5. That was the category 4. That was Raiju.
Oh yeah, the second one. Sorry, I misheard you. Yes, the Raiju and Scunner, the 2 category 4s at that point, and yeah, they gave them a good fucking run for their money.
Honestly, but dude, like, so Gypsy's arm gets taken out, and Striker Urethra is getting like torn up like really bad by one of them. There's one that has like a hammerhead. There's one that has like the folding face, which is moving like an alligator. Like, they're getting torn up. And I think there's another one that we're missing. I think it's 3 against 2 at the beginning. Maybe.
No, there's
ones that I'm pretty sure.
No, I'm remembering it now. I'm remembering it now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 3 against 2 when Slattern shows up, which is in kind of midway into the initial like fight scene.
So what happens is, I'm remembering now, Striker does his thing. I think doesn't he have like gauntlet blades that he uses to slice up?
Yes, he does. He's got the swords on the wrists, which are super cool. But what I was gonna say about, I think at this point where we're at is Striker is like nearing the breach, right? And it has the nuke strapped to its back. And I think it's about to go in before Charlie Day and holy fuck, I keep forgetting his name. The two scientists, they come back. Yes.
But actually, before you get there,
yes.
So pretty much this fight is still happening, and he loses an arm, Gypsy Danger, and he's like, you know what, fuck these guys. So when Striker Urethra, god fucking damn it, I knew it was about to happen. Fuck! Oh my god, I'm so fucking pissed because we're gonna get a comment about that, god damn it. But anyway,
it's funny.
So Striker's doing his thing. Gypsy is really, with one arm, really carrying the team, because not only he braces himself and waits for Raiju to get close to him, so he fucking slices him in half because Raiju's doing like a back and forth missile attack, essentially. So all he has to do is brace for impact, and he just takes the sword and goes all the way down, and he slices Raiju, and Raiju just does all the work going down the sword. So Raiju gets taken care of pretty much immediately, and I think right after, he goes to the other hammerhead fucker, and he gives the most satisfying fuck you in this movie, where he stabs him in the face, and he puts him right up close to an underwater volcano and chars him.
Yeah, dude, that scene, oh my god. Where he's like, let's get this son of a bitch. Like, they're just, they're fed up. They're not playing anymore.
They are so done. It is insane.
There's a lot of brutality in this movie, but like in ways that are like not too disturbing for children. It's really great
because it's like an alien or whatever. It's a big kaiju, so it's not that bad to be brutal with it.
And this is when it's like, okay, I think we got rid of all of them. It's like, oh shit, there's a new signal approaching. What is it? It's category 5. It's like, shit. And I think that's the one that attacks Striker first, because Striker is going towards the base. And he's like, oh no.
Yes. We should also mention that Striker has a new drift compatible pilot,
Oh,
with
yes.
the Australian dickhead son.
It's Knuckles
of
the Echidna.
Idris Elba.
Yeah.
It's Knuckles the Echidna. it's Heimdall, everyone. He's here.
No way.
No way. And after giving that baller goddamn speech where they're canceling the damn apocalypse, like, yeah, we're ready to fight now. But yeah, it's like the two of them are going up against the Category 5, and they have the nuclear warhead, and basically they don't set it off, but I'm trying to remember how that big explosion happens with the water, because I want to talk about how cool of an idea it is with that.
With the water retracting.
With the water retracting and then coming back and be like, oh wait, yeah, the water has to come back.
Yep. Because you think for a second, you're like, oh wait, we're like, it's land now, like we're doing this on land, and then nope. Just immediately,
like, nope,
I think you can even
there's
see
a whole
some
ocean,
fish
buddy.
in there at some point. Yeah, exactly. It's just got to, Moses only
yeah.
parted the sea for a few seconds.
Moses held the sea for a few seconds.
Just for a few seconds. Yeah, I mean that there's just so many good little things to appreciate in the movie. Especially about individual scenes, and that's one of them. And then, you get a little further back into it. Okay, Gypsy's back in the water, just trying to make its way with the kaiju carcass. And of course the Category 5 big bad Slattern face tanked a nuke. Which is, by the way, really reassuring that to humanity that if Gypsy had lost that fight, not even the most powerful nukes and weapons would work on bigger kaiju. I remember in the beginning of the movie when they say, I think they said jets, planes, and tank missiles took it down 6 days and 35 miles later. 3 cities were destroyed. And that was for I think like a Category 1 or a 2. I think the Trespasser was not a kaiju of that scale. So, to know that there were things out there that could face tank the strongest weapons humans have outside of Jaegers was a little concerning for how the battle could have ended.
It raised the stakes, being like, oh shit, we gotta end this now.
Exactly. They had to make their final move. Otherwise, if they didn't do it now, they wouldn't have had another chance. It was literally then or never.
Exactly. Yeah.
We need to talk about how Gypsy went through all of this, and then he tanks a nuke right in front of him, but then literally the nuke is so powerful it empties out the ocean for a split second.
Yep.
And then you get the shot where Gypsy's up, and then he looks back and he sees the ocean coming back.
It's just like the
well, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Gypsy can't catch a break at all. And so he has literally half of this kaiju. No, he's about to jump in, and then he finds out what Charlie and Burn Gorman told him. It's you need a kaiju decoy, essentially, to trick the portal into letting you in, to make you think you're a kaiju. So they were originally going to do that with the half-corpse of Raiju until they find out that Slattern is still alive.
Yeah.
Surprise!
And he is kicking... Surprise! And this is the point where it's just Gypsy's I don't give a shit anymore. So he charges full sprint at Slattern and spears him into the portal. But it's oh god, what am I gonna do now? It's hold on, Mako, I'm gonna burn this son of a bitch. And he activates his arc reactor, which is essentially what it is. And he just literally, with that sword has carried Gypsy throughout the rest of the third act. That is his bread and butter tool now. And he uses it, and he literally sticks himself and attaches himself to Slattern as he's burning his chest, through him. And then he killed a Category 5.
Yep.
My god.
The first ever Category 5, by the way.
That is the first documented Category 5.
Yep.
Oh my god. Jack, you take it from here, now what?
We get so we're at the point now, Gypsy has full blown charged into the Slattern. taken it through the breach and officially made it through with the just the Jaeger itself. Slattern is dead at this point, and they're kind of just floating there. But Mako is running out of oxygen, and Raleigh needs to finish the mission, so he sends her back up in an escape pod. And Raleigh just needs to sink far enough into the breach and blow Gypsy up. Like as he's one of my favorite lines from the film is, "All I need to do is fall. Anyone can fall." And we get to that point where Mako gets sent up and she's okay. They get a visual on the first life pod, but Raleigh is doing his best to set Gypsy off as a pseudo nuke, essentially, because Stryker's gone, the original nuke is not there. Now they're just gonna blow the Jaeger itself to bits and take the entirety of the kaiju dimension with it. And that's exactly what happens. 60 seconds later, Raleigh successfully does what he needs to do to get Gypsy in self-destruct mode, gets sent back up in a life pod, and eventually, very slowly after Mako makes his way back to the surface, and we have ourselves a happy ending.
And nothing happened afterwards. It was a Soul movie where they saved the day and nothing else of relevance happened.
Exactly, and no new characters or Jaegers were built, and nothing ever occurred of the Pacific Rim franchise ever again. It was perfect at the end.
You know what would have been a real good idea for a sequel?
What, Cade?
If they had if they had John Boyega in it.
Oh, that'd be so cool. Oh, and what's his name?
Cool,
Clint
right?
Eastwood's son.
That they tried shoehorning into every movie at the time. And you know what we also need? We need that one Troll Face song that would play during the suit up sequence. I'd love that. And how about also
really
action
cool.
scenes where they completely take away all the size and scale and pacing in between a fight to demonstrate, that they're fucking robots, giant 200 tall robots, and let's just make them just like super floaty, super fast, because that's interesting to see.
And how about making the Jaeger pilots not teenagers who are too cocky and don't have any battle experience, and instead make them combative, like marshals who have military training and are certified drift compatible, instead of being idiots who got flung around a city.
Lastly, for a sequel, if they were to ever do it, have Charlie Day be the villain.
That'd
You're not feeling
that'd be an interesting twist.
You're not feeling that? Do you think that's
because Charlie Day, the nerdy scientist tweaker, fulfills the villain role perfectly. Maybe if he played Chaos in Skylanders, but not in fucking the Pacific Rim, where the movie's supposed to be about giant monsters, and is instead about,
But yeah, so anyway, budget of this movie. How much do you want to guess how much this movie was used to make? How much this cost?
$400 million, I think, is the answer.
That's how much it made.
I unfortunately cheated and I saw the budget. So.
What's the budget?
Yeah, it took It's around 180 to 190 million dollars it took to make, and it made worldwide $411 million roughly.
It should be a $1 billion movie, dude. There's not a single film out there that has visuals like it.
It really should.
It was like a success.
Yeah,
it made its budget and a little bit more, but unfortunately, we never saw a sequel of it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't know what they're sitting on.
Spread the news. Amazon is doing a prequel show series of Pacific Rim, and I will be watching it.
Just make it live action and give it a big budget, please. Just give it a decent budget.
No, we're getting I'm talking prequel, like we're getting early days of Gypsy Danger. We're getting Cherno Alpha early footage type of stuff.
That's dope. I'm here for that.
Interesting.
So yeah, but until then, we have this movie that I consider to be, perfect. perfect for the movie that it's supposed to be, right? Because I'm not expecting it to be
Yeah.
I'm not expecting the writing to be perfect. I'm not expecting it to move me in some way and change my experience on life. But I mean, you look at the visuals, you look at the world building, you look at the character development, everything in this film, down to how it looks, just has personality. Um, and that is, for some reason, I feel like we've kind of devolved from that since 2013. It's not to say some movies don't
Yeah.
look beautiful, but there's just, there's something about the Pacific Rim look and the feel that gives you, that no other movie has given me. It's a different, it's just a different style of how the directors and the producers want to make the audience feel, and it does a really good job of that. It gives life to essentially everything, that is in the movie, I think.
Hmm. That's a very well. That's very very poignant on how you would sum that
Thank
up,
you,
Jack.
Cade. I appreciate that. I try.
Yeah, so I don't really have much else to say besides I have like one little fun fact left, and it's how Charlie Day got casted in this movie.
Let me hear.
And I believe we discussed it before on the podcast, but just so Jack and the audience know now, how Charlie Day got casted as Dr. Newton was because of Guillermo del Toro personally calling him, because he was a fan of his performance in Always Sunny. Specifically, the monologue he gives in an episode called Charlie Kelly, King of the Rats, where he's talking about bashing families full of rats. And he has like... and he loved working with Charlie Day loved working with Del Toro so much. They got Guillermo del Toro on for a couple episodes of Always Sunny as well, and he played like a character related to like this group, this like family of like wackos called the McPoyles.
Huh? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's very fun to see like a very critically acclaimed actor or director just be in a couple episodes and be probably the most batshit crazy character in the entire show.
Fetch me their eyes!
I actually have one more fun fact as well. It's sort of fun. It's about the show. The Pacific Rim show is very more sci-fi than the movie. The movie does a good job of trying to make you feel like all of these things could be real, right? Like the Jaegers work because of this and this and this, and like there are scenes in the film that even show how the hydraulics work. Like when Stryker picks up Otachi and lifts him over his head, there's literally a close-up of the hydraulics compressing to show the pressure that Stryker is under by lifting this thing. The show, on the other hand, has like these like cults of kaiju and stuff, and they like and there's like people are looking for like kaiju eggs to do certain things with, and the show is like very much more like science fiction, more towards the fiction. But what they do that's cool is they do actually, despite this, they do reference the movie. They do but they
acknowledge it.
Yes, there's a scene in the film or in the movie, in one of the in the show, where this was when I was talking about solo drifting. So the main character is trying to solo drift, and the AI in the Jaeger that he's talking to brings up 3 records of Jaeger pilots solo drifting. 2 of them, one of them was from Raleigh Beckett, and the other was from Stacker Pentecost. And you see those names come up on the screen. And I meant to say this earlier, but that scene where Raleigh has to solo pilot Gypsy Danger while fighting the knife head, after he beats it, he solo pilots the Jaeger 7 miles to the Alaskan shore. So he is one of like the only few people ever to solo pilot a Jaeger and live to tell the tale. There's so many little like contingencies in this movie that you don't, if you don't entirely know where to look, or if it's not made too obvious, you can really easily miss it. But like, at the same time, you know, when you find out, you're like, wow, like this could have gone a totally different way if this one thing had happened. And it's like, it's very, you don't realize how small and intricate the details are until you really dig into the universe. And that's why I enjoy this movie so much, and just am so grateful that you guys gave me the opportunity to talk about it.
Well, we're just
man.
happy to have you for the episode, honestly, and we'll have you back definitely for anything more like kaiju or like just superhero focused in the future if you're up for it.
I am,
and you know,
absolutely up for it.
You know who I want to thank too? Thank you, viewer, for watching this far into the episode. We're just happy to be back in the year of 2026, and yeah, you can catch us as always on Instagram. Cade, what else? Instagram, podcast, no longer Spotify because we hate Spotify in this household. If you didn't already, you can always subscribe, like, leave a comment, tell Cade he's stupid and smelly. You can always do that.
No.
What? No, don't do that.
Shots fired.
Don't do that.
Shots fired. Shot fired on the Supreme Court.
Woohoo.
Yeah. Before we end off here, Jack, is there anything you want to plug?
Anything I want to plug?
Yeah.
Like the Fatal Shards YouTube and TikTok channels that I need to get going, even though I have like one thing of footage.
I mean, sure, you could. I don't know if there's like anything else you wanted to like talk about.
I mean, you could make that the plug, but you could also just make I could just also say thank you. Thank you, viewer, for watching this special episode where I got to be a part of it, and that you got to watch us review Peak, because that's what this film is. It's very underloved, and if you've never seen it before, I highly recommend. Unless you're not a crazy science fiction fan, this movie is a lot of fun, and it just has like some really good action-packed moments, and it's something everyone can enjoy. So thank you.
Yep. And just like that, I think that's it.
That's that.
Thank you all for watching. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.